So this park is what we call a demonstration project. What we want to do in this project is provide some robust evidence to show the actual impact that green spaces have on climate change, things like flooding and heat stress, but also biodiversity, health and well-being, and just generally the cohesion within a community.
People are becoming more aware now of the need to look at sustainable issues, and climate change is becoming more real in people's lives.
This place is just crying out for somewhere for the community to meet. We've been involving the community from the outset. It's really important to involve them from the start, so they're invested in this area and they'll be the ones that are taking care of it long term and helping it be more sustainable. They are like the local people to this area, they're the local experts, and they're really the ones that know how to solve their own problems.
The initiative was part of the Horizon 2020 project to see how we can come up with some innovative design solutions which use nature-based design features rather than heavy engineering features to help combat climate change. The centre of the park, which we call the meadow, is full of wildflowers, as you can see here, and we've got trim trails and played with topography to try and capture some of the rainwater runoff and direct it into a series of swales and rain gardens. In the community area, the paving there is designed to be fully permeable so that it's attenuating heavy rainwater in those storm situations, and then it filters it through a series of formal channels into a sunken garden, a community garden, where people can sit and enjoy the planting, and the water actually irrigates the trees and the planting to create this rich sensory environment for people and for wildlife. The beauty of this particular project is that it's been monitored over a number of years by Manchester University.
The impact here for green spaces and the evidence around green spaces is really quite strong. It's still early days for the science, but there's some quite clear indications that it has positive impacts in reducing negative things, but also promoting positive things. So like having more positive emotions like happiness and have a sense of meaning in life.
It looks like it's not in the middle of Manchester. You don't realise what a big impact it'll make. You sit and you think, oh no, a park, this will happen, that'll happen, and nobody's going to use it, but they do. It's worth every penny.
So the University of Manchester were involved in the design, implementation and ultimately the monitoring of the performance of the various features of this community park. It was really important to capture a baseline, i.e. before the park got delivered. Then, once the park got delivered and built in 2020, we've continued with 2 years worth of monitoring, looking at a range of environmental, social and indeed economic impacts of the park. So over the last 2 years, we've been monitoring a number of locations around the park, monitoring the swales, monitoring the rain gardens, monitoring the tree pits for how much water they are retaining, infiltrating, and ultimately the performance of the park from a water management perspective. So when we take the park as a whole, we've seen reduction in runoff from between 90 up to 100%. So really the park is functioning really as a giant sponge, taking that runoff from the highway, soaking it up, creating that resilience in terms of flood risk. Another key element of monitoring of the community park has been biodiversity. The park has seen 50 new different ground level vegetation species introduced, 13 new tree species, lots of native wildflowers, so a really big enhancement in the biodiversity of the area. One of the key things that we've been monitoring is how people use this space and how they interact with it. So since the park has been built, there's been a big uplift in usage, but also a big uplift in how people sort of use the park in terms of their activity. So lots more physical activity, engaging with nature, getting to sort of notice the environment.
There was no events running or anything, and then the events now are very busy. I got voted on by the committee side to be the chair of the park. When groundwork started, I was there when it started first time round, and we're still together now. So I run all events. I'm the one that gets everything that we need for the events, make sure everything goes as smooth as it can. Any issues, people come to me and air the issues with me. Communities need to get together to get stuff going for the communities, for children, for elderly, for mental health. My physical and mental health got better. I was on tablets before I started the park, and now I'm not on anything because it's keeping my mental health busy. My children got social communication difficulties, and there's a lot of parents that have got children with additional needs, and they said them coming to the park, it's made the children feel better and safer. What we're after now, volunteers, because the events are getting bigger and better. I think 2 years ago they were all locked away, and now they're not. And like you can see, they're all playing together, and that's what we enjoy.